In today's world, it feels like everyone wants a piece of us. The pace is relentless, the noise never stops, and somewhere in all that chaos we lose ourselves. We scroll, we hustle, we chase success, stuff, and approval, hoping that if we just tick enough boxes, we'll finally feel in control. But instead, we end up more anxious, more distracted, and wondering why happiness always seems one step ahead. Here's the thing. The answers we're searching for might not be new at all. In fact, they could be thousands of years old. Think about it. Those struggles we face every day, the stress, the lack of focus, that feeling of being pulled in 100 directions, ancient civilizations wrestled with their own versions of chaos. And from that struggle, they carved out principles, timeless, practical wisdom for living with strength, clarity, and peace. This isn't just dusty philosophy. It's a playbook for life that's been tested for centuries. And in this video, I'm going to share 4 of those principles. Simple, powerful shifts that can help you navigate today's complexity with confidence. These aren't quick hacks. They're foundations for a life that feels grounded, intentional, and truly yours. Let's start with the real foundation of lasting change. Most of us try to improve our lives by chasing outcomes. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want that promotion. I want to be more productive. Sounds familiar, right? The problem is, this approach ties your happiness and even your sense of self to results you don't fully control. That's why it often feels fragile. The ancients, especially the Stoics, had a better way. They taught that instead of obsessing over outcomes, we should focus on identity. You don't just do habits, you become the person who lives them. This is the first principle. Forge an identity-based system. Think about Marcus Aurelius. He wasn't fixated on winning a single battle. His focus was on being a just, wise, and courageous leader, moment by moment. His actions flowed from that identity. When he wrote in his private journals, it wasn't to win a prize. It was because that's what a man committed to self-reflection does. Every action was a vote for the person he wanted to be. So how do we apply this today? Start small. Stop saying, "I want to read more." Instead say, "I am a reader." Don't say, "I need to go to the gym." Say, "I am someone who takes care of my body." This isn't just wordplay. It's a psychological shift. When your actions align with your identity, you're no longer chasing a distant goal. You're simply acting like the person you already believe yourself to be. That's the difference between saying, "I'm on a diet," and "I'm a healthy person." A diet is temporary, an identity lasts. Here's your first step. Define the person you want to become in simple terms. Write it down. Maybe it's, "I am calm under pressure. I act with focus." Then every time you make a choice, ask, "What would a person with this identity do?" That question becomes your compass. It will guide you through chaos, distractions, and setbacks. You build your character one action at a time, just like the Stoics taught. Once you've defined your identity, you need a way to make it real. That's where the second principle comes in, one that mystics and sages have relied on for thousands of years. Master the art of visualization. And let's be clear, this isn't just positive thinking. True visualization is like a mental dress rehearsal for your future. It's immersive. It's multisensory. When you imagine something vividly, with emotion and detail, your brain starts wiring itself for that reality. Science backs this up. Your mind often can't tell the difference between a deeply imagined experience and a real one. That's why athletes, leaders, and creators use this technique. It works. Here's a powerful way to do it. Picture your mind as a strong, rooted tree. Let's call it the mind tree. The roots, they're your core values and identity, the "I am" statements you defined earlier. They keep you grounded. The trunk, that's your central purpose, growing straight out of those roots. The branches, those are your actions and tasks, the things that bring your purpose to life. Now imagine this. You're overwhelmed. Your thoughts feel like a storm. Instead of spiraling, pause. Close your eyes. See your mind tree standing firm. Picture the chaos as tangled vines or dead leaves. Then, with each slow exhale, imagine pruning them away. Feel the calm returning as your tree becomes strong and clear again. Next, focus on the healthy branches, the tasks that matter most. But don't just see yourself doing them, feel it. If your goal is to deliver a great presentation, imagine the solid ground under your feet. Hear your steady voice filling the room. Feel that surge of confidence as you finish strong. Engage every sense. When you do this, you're making the unfamiliar familiar, and that's powerful. This was the secret of ancient mystics. It wasn't magic. It was an understanding that the mind shapes reality by first creating a vivid, emotionally charged blueprint. When you visualize with intention, you're training your brain and body to follow that map. You've defined your identity, and you're visualizing your path. Now comes the part most people overlook: the world around you. The third principle is about making your environment work for you instead of against you. Model your environment. Ancient wisdom, especially Taoism, teaches that we're not separate from our surroundings. We're in a constant dialogue with them. Your physical space isn't just a backdrop. It's an active force shaping your mood, your focus, and even your energy. The Taoist idea of Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, isn't about doing nothing. It's about moving with the natural flow instead of fighting it. And the easiest way to make good habits feel effortless? Design your environment to support them. Think about it. Is your phone, the ultimate distraction machine, the first thing you see in the morning? Is your desk cluttered when you're trying to do deep work? If so, you're battling your space every single day. Here's the good news. You don't need to become a feng shui master. You just need to become intentional. Start small. If you want to read more, don't rely on willpower. Put a book on your pillow so it's the first thing you see at night. If you want better focus, carve out a dedicated workspace, even if it's just a corner, that's used for nothing but work. This sends a powerful signal to your brain. When you're here, it's time to focus. Create a calm down corner in your home, a simple chair where you go to breathe, meditate, or think. By assigning specific zones for specific activities, you're embedding your intentions into your physical world. You're making virtue the path of least resistance. You're creating an environment where the person you want to be doesn't have to fight for survival. They thrive naturally. You've got the identity. You've got the vision. You've shaped your environment. Now comes the piece that locks it all in, the principle that guarantees lasting change. Create consistency loops. Here's the truth. Success doesn't come from one big dramatic transformation. It comes from small things, done over and over again. Will Durant summed up Aristotle's wisdom perfectly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Ancient systems understood this deeply. Ritual and repetition weren't optional. They were the engine of change. Take the Stoics. They didn't just hope to be resilient, they practiced it. One of their most powerful exercises was premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Every day, they spent a few moments imagining what could go wrong. Not to create fear, but to rehearse their response and strip away the power of surprise. That simple practice created a loop. Anticipate, rehearse, respond, reflect. So when life threw challenges at them, they were ready. We can build our own loops today. Start with something simple, like a habit journal. At the end of each day, take 2 minutes to check in. Did I live in line with my identity? Did I take one small step toward my goal? This isn't about perfection. It's about creating a feedback loop of awareness. Every time you track your habit, you add a link to the chain. Your only goal? Don't break the chain. A small, repeatable habit will always beat an impressive but fragile one. Here's the magic. The more you act like the person you want to be, the more you reinforce that identity. The stronger your identity becomes, the more natural those actions feel. That's the loop that builds unstoppable momentum. Consistency isn't about intensity, it's about disciplined repetition. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it, because your system and your identity demand it. Let's bring it all together. These 4 principles aren't just random tips, they form a complete system for living with intention. First, you forge an identity-based system. You decide who you want to be, not just what you want to achieve. Second, you visualize that identity in action, vividly and emotionally, so your mind starts to believe it's real. Third, you model your environment so the right choices become the easy choices. And fourth, you create consistency loops. Small, repeatable actions that lock in your progress and build unstoppable momentum. The world will always be messy and unpredictable. The ancients knew that. But they also knew this: your inner world doesn't have to be. When you build your life on these 4 pillars, you stop trying to control everything outside of you. Instead, you master the world inside of you. You create an inner citadel, a fortress of strength, purpose, and peace that no amount of external chaos can breach. This wisdom has lasted thousands of years for one reason: it works. The only question left is, will you put it to work for you?